Welcome to Curry Primetime Report. I'm Nicholas Calvino.
And I'm Jordan Loud.
We are going to review some stories and events that happened during the fall semester here at Curry.
When we returned this fall, new COVID protocols were in place. It was loosened from last year, but students still needed to wear masks inside buildings, except in dorm rooms.
We took to campus to find out what students thought of the requirement.
And now everyone can hang out a little more. It's a little more freely. Everyone is obviously following the rules and keeping everything safe. And it's better, I think.
It's definitely lighter than last year, which is nice. It kind of reflects the situation countrywide, which is nice. Last year was definitely tough, a lot of restrictions, but this year things are brightening up. Most people are vaccinated, and it looks like things are going in the right direction.
This is my first year here on Curry, but I think that the COVID restrictions are they're getting better. I think that they're going along with all the cases and all that stuff. I feel like it correlates with everything, so it's doing good.
I feel like there's been a lot of change in COVID, but everything just happens so quickly with news and how it's going. So I feel like it's getting better, but we don't really know. I don't know.
Last year was tough. It didn't really feel like college, you know. I think you can kind of tell throughout the campus how people are a little more social, a little more willing to meet face to face.
I think they're better than last year, but I'd say there could be less restrictions than last year too.
I agree with these restrictions that have been put upon us this year compared to last year, as it's allowed the student to be a student again, and not so much as I'm kind of feeling restricted and not be able to live the college life that I've lived 2 years before and it was cut off. But easing back into it, I think, is the way to go. Hopefully it comes back full strength before it ends.
Not bad, to be honest. I know I just had to wear my mask outside my dorm room and stuff like that, but otherwise, it's been fine.
Opportunity to get together with your friends and be social, and it feels a lot more like an open campus this semester.
I think that's a lot better. I think being able to go into the classroom and be face to face with your teachers is a lot better as well, and all of our teams playing games from an athletic standpoint is pretty awesome.
With COVID still a concern, more students decided to commute to campus rather than live in the residence halls. This has meant parking has been tight. One casualty: the basketball courts across from the library, which were turned into parking. CBT's Luke Robitaille reports.
Students love taking a break from studying to play hoops. Now, some obstacles are getting in the way. Parked cars. What was once the main basketball courts are now commuter parking spaces.
So we have to create more space. There is no more land, so what we have to do is reutilize the stuff we have now.
Public Safety Chief Paul King says commuters need to be close to academic buildings, and the basketball courts were ready to go, with good drainage and a level lot. Commuters agree.
I really don't want to run to class because I'm going to get there sweaty and disgusting.
So where do basketball players go now?
During the week, students are forced to go to the only other outdoor basketball court, the Lombard basketball court. But this court presents its own issues.
The court's kind of on a hill, so it's slanted up this way and slanted down that way. So it's kind of hard to shoot properly.
In addition, cracks are visible on the court surface and gravel ditches line the sides. There's talk of adding parking to a wooded lot near the current courts or refinishing Lombard's court, but finding the money is key.
So unfortunately, everybody's vying for the same pool of funds, so they have to prioritize.
So I feel like they could have maybe just other places to park or just a separate basketball court for people to play at.
Until then, it's wait until 5 p.m. on Friday afternoons when the commuter lot turns into basketball courts again, but only for the weekend. For CC8, I'm Luke Robitaille reporting.
Whether you're a commuter or resident student, chances are you're eating at least some of your meals at campus. CBT checked out what some of your favorite food items are this semester. In sports news, there's been some changes for sure. First, a new women's hockey team has been added.
CPT's Arthur Zatola has more.
For years, women's hockey was a club sport. Now, it's an official NCAA team. CPT's David Montero report.
Curry College has always had a strong men's hockey program, with one team even being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, but no women's team until this year. The inaugural women's hockey season is underway, and students are excited.
It's nice to see more women's sports and representation in sports. Like, I like hockey, I like watching hockey, and yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Unlike some teams in the CCC, the Curry women's hockey team is young, inexperienced. In fact, they're all freshmen. But Coach Ryder is confident in the young group's ability to perform this season.
We play the number 7 team in the country, and yesterday we were down 1-0 with 3 minutes to go. So I think it just shows that they can handle the pressure and they can rise to the occasion. Now we just have to continue to play consistently and play that way, even if we're not playing a top 10 team in the country. They've shown that they actually even play better with that pressure, I think.
While the strong play by the Lady Colonels so far this season has been promising, men's hockey player Alex Bouchard talks about the difficulties of playing with no upperclassmen leadership.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a learning curve for them. I know when I came in, it was really nice to learn from the older guys on the team and some of the upperclassmen, so that's probably a challenge that they're facing right now.
With many games left on the schedule, the team will look to grow each and every day. On the bright side, Coach Ryder talks about how this unique opportunity can bring the team together for life.
So I think it just creates an extra bond between them that they'll have for life. And I think they really get to set the tone for what the culture or the future of this program is. At points it's challenging, but I also think it's more rewarding just seeing them all be part of it together and have that special bond forever.
A bond that will last a lifetime. The sky is the limit for Coach Ryder and this young team. Reporting for CC8, David Montero.
And speaking of hockey, our men's team has been on a roll under new head coach Peter Roundy. They are nationally ranked and looking good. Roundy was featured on CCH Curry Talks and says he is thrilled to be at Curry.
It's a great group of guys. They love playing the game of hockey. They love being with each other, and they're hungry to get better. And as a head coach, especially in my first year, it's nice to have a lot of returners. I think we have 11 seniors on the team this year, 11 or 12. So we've got a lot of guys that have played a lot of college hockey and have a lot of experience. And for me, as a first-year head coach, it's nice to be able to rely on those guys and they know what to expect on a daily basis in terms of how we want to work and how we want to prepare. And it's been a lot of fun. Didn't necessarily expect us to be in the top 15, but I knew we had the talent to compete for a championship. But it's a credit to the guys for putting in the work thus far and playing the way we want to play to get us to this point inside the top 15, and hopefully we can keep climbing.
Be sure to check out the men's hockey team in the months ahead as they chase a national championship. On the basketball side, men's basketball coach Phil Alabrandy has taken charge. CPT's Scott Vieira has a look at what's up with that team.
The sound of basketball games is back on campus again. There is a new coach for men's basketball on campus, and his name is Phil Alabrandy.
Coach Phillips came in, he's brought a lot of new energy, good energy. He's also held us accountable with the practices and games.
Coach Alabrandy has been busy doing drills with his players, preparing them for real games.
I think right now what our issue is that just trying to get guys to buy in for a full 2-hour practice, which then translate to a full 40-minute game.
Excited fans are now returning to the stands more often.
I like coming to the games just to support my friends, just to be with my friends. I think it's just a good way to get involved in school spirit and stuff like that. And it's just something to do on campus,
Coach knows how challenging the game is. but his players love a good challenge. Each player demonstrates good performance against the opposing team. The basketball competition is fierce. The away team's skill is fairly equal to ours.
We're kind of getting the results that are based on the work we're putting in. So, we'll have a good, we have a 2-hour practice, we have a good hour practice, and then we'll play a good half in the game.
Coach Alabrandi has made Curry's team skillful enough to win games. He makes the students proud. After a long pandemic, we are proud to get back to action. For CC8, Scott Vieira reporting.
We also caught up with women's soccer coach Brigida Palantino this semester. We asked her how she prepped her team this fall.
The coaching lifestyle, everything's different, every day's different. So with that, you always have to be ready, you always have to be on your toes. So it's fun because it's not your traditional 9-to-5 desk job, even though we're in my office right now. You're on the field, you're answering recruit emails, connecting with the team. So every day is new, every day is different. And for me, I love that. Recruiting is probably the most important thing you can do because it's important to surround yourself with the right people, the right attitude, the right energy. So that starts in that recruiting process. Talking with recruits, talking with families, talking about what it means to be part of our troop, what that lifestyle is like, and really laying out the expectations of the program. So when they come in, they're pleasantly surprised rather than deeply disappointed. So really highlighting what it means to be part of our family, what that enlistment process looks like. Film is great. It allows us to see what we do really, really well, but it also allows us to kind of figure out ways to get better. So we'll watch film on our program and our team, whether it's a game, whether it's a practice, but we'll also watch film on other opponents to just strategize the best way to be successful in that upcoming match. Soccer is a very physically demanding sport, so making sure physically we are able to play the game. So having that grit, having that toughness, having that resiliency. So we try to embed all those different components into our training sessions. So having that technical aspect, having that tactical, having the physical, and then also having that X factor in terms of that mentality as well. So being functional to the sport we play, but then also being mindful of the people we have. So that's kind of how we'll run our training sessions, putting players in positions where they're going to be successful and then also treating them like it's game day. Leading into a game, there's a lot of preparation that goes into that with the film, with the scout, with the training sessions, and then when you actually get to game day, there's a lot of energy. I think that's what we really highlight the most. I know I look young. I do have a lot of energy on the sidelines. So I'm a coach. I like to coach. I like to coach in the game. So you'll see me running up and down the sidelines. You'll see a lot of my energy on the sidelines, coaching up certain positions, coaching up certain players, strategizing, marking certain players. So a lot of game coaching and feedback that's going throughout the game. When you have that big win, appreciating that big win, but also staying hungry and also not being satisfied, knowing that we can strive to do more, be better. When you have those tough losses, learning from them, honestly, you learn from the losses and you have to have a short-term memory. You learn from the mistakes, learn from the losses, and use it to fuel you to get better. I see my role as someone who's an educator, someone who's a mentor. The sport is the sport, and it's something I'm really passionate about, and it's something I love and enjoy. But at the end of the day, I'm here to help educate, I'm here to help mentor, I'm here to be a positive role model, not just for my program, but also for the Curry community, for everyone who's extended part of our staff, extended part of our team, and just the campus community as well.
With a quarter of all Curry students involved in varsity athletics, some students are saying it's time for an upgraded field house. CPT's Alex Bouchard takes a look at where things stand for a new field house.
If you are a Curry College student athlete, this is a familiar sight and sound. The Miller Fieldhouse has served as the primary athletic facility for the majority of teams on campus for many years. However, as 2018 plans for a new athletic fieldhouse on the west side of campus have fallen through, good old Miller Fieldhouse is starting to show its age.
Well, I mean, it's just old. That's the biggest thing. Like, the weight room, it just reminds me of like a weight room from like the 90s or whatever.
Curry soccer player Luke Robitaille says that although the facilities in Miller fulfill a need, it is still frustrating in comparison to what he was shown during his recruiting process. Other student-athletes agree.
Yeah, actually, they sold me on it. One of the big reasons I came here.
Plans for the new athletic field house were originally proposed back in 2018. However, since the first official big announcement, it's largely been crickets. When asked about the plans for the new athletic field house and where they currently stand, the athletic administration chose not to comment, which leaves student-athletes with the unfortunate possibility of only using the Millard Fieldhouse for the time being.
There's a lot of rust on all the equipment. You can see there's holes in the wall.
In addition, some equipment is completely broken, and the center-hung air conditioning unit has a leak that athletes say hasn't been fixed in weeks. On top of that, the empty promise of a new locker room for Curry's football program has forced the athletes to operate in tight, outdated quarters.
A bigger locker room would be a pretty big deal. As a football player, we have helmets, pads, a whole bunch of equipment for both practice and games that we really have to cram into a pretty small space.
However, until the plans resume, Curry athletes will continue to operate out of the old, reliable Miller Fieldhouse. For CC8, I'm Alex Bouchard, reporting.
And that's a look into the sports here at Curry. I'm Arthur Zatola.
Thanks, Arthur. In other news, something brand new can be found over at WMLN, the FM radio station on campus.
Students are excited about the station's new podcast studio. CBT's Mike Cotton checked it out.
Today we're here at WMLN 91.5 Curry College Radio. We're here to just enjoy the presence of a couple of radio heads and go through, give you a tour, and show you the new podcast studio that we've got going on.
Prior to the introduction of the podcast studio, podcasts were actually done in Studio C, which is the music studio. Within the past couple of years, one of WMLN's main focuses was gaining popularity within the field of podcasting. Radio students such as Bobby Fanning see the importance of having a podcast studio within the station.
Having this new podcast studio in the station is honestly, it's a blessing, to be quite real with you. And it provides a lot of new opportunities for the radio station other than just being on air.
A significant amount of the funding and the idea to even have a podcast studio can be credited to the professor of WMLN, Professor Carberry.
Many alum who came along and wanted to take part in saying hello to Alan and also in donating to the new podcast studio. So we raised quite a bit of money so that we could build the studio.
I spent almost the entire summer just getting everything set up, parts, networking, this desk nice and lacquered. Between myself and the other engineer, Brian, we probably spent 2,000 or 3,000 man hours just getting the station set up.
Curry College Radio has come a long way from having to play physical records on air to having an entire podcast studio. This is Mike Cotton, reporting from CC8 TV.
There are some passionate students over at MLN for sure, and the passion is also evident with film major David Montero.
His own movie, which he wrote, starred in, and shot, is already making the festival circuit. CPT's Luke Robitaille tells us more.
On the quiet campus of Curry College, some big stars are being born. David Montero has started to expand from this tiny campus and started to make waves internationally with his latest film, Card Games.
Yeah, I think it was, I will say it was a little random. It kind of happened over winter break in 2020. Just kind of came to me and my friend, Michael, my partner, we came to the conclusion that we had all this equipment, we had all, the time over winter break, so we figured we might as well just do it.
It's done. She's dead.
David says the movie has taken off faster than he expected, being accepted into multiple film contests, including the Global Indie Film Festival. Professor McDougall says this is a testament to David's hard work and passion.
It is the perfect example of what we need to do, right? Taking your own initiative in terms of media production and creative work of any time. You can't wait for what's happening in the classroom.
David took it to a whole new level when he not only produced the movie, but he also wrote, directed, starred in, and edited the entire film.
Where is Antonio? This is about a kidnapping.
It was definitely an experience, to say the least. It was a lot of work. Writing was tough. I think it took about a month and a half, like I said, because we really wanted to make sure it was it was like 40-page script, so we edited it, looked at it, made sure it made sense. But then production itself, shooting, was tough.
Actor, writer, producer, grip, best boy, all of it, right? So sort of doing it all. You got to know what's happening below the line with the people who are taping things, as well as what it means to be a producer, to organize people, to be the cinematographer, the director of action, the lighting expert.
As David's films gain more and more popularity, he's not only growing his own name as a director, but also growing the Curry College name. For CC8 TV, I'm Luke Robitaille.
Congratulations to David. We wish you well.
For our education majors, many students want to have a chance to be a teacher someday. CBT's Tommy Noonan has more.
Thank you, Nick and Jordan. CPT visited a preschool to see up close what it really takes to be a teacher.
My name's Miss Paula. I'm a preschool teacher at Teddy Bear in Seekonk. I have been there for 9 years. I started out as a substitute teacher, and I now have my own classroom with 8 little children that I love very much. We have 4 teachers. We just hired a new teacher for our big classroom for our older children. So I have a curriculum every day, and I have to find things that will entertain my kids to keep them happy. I usually have 8 kids throughout the day. This week we're talking about apples, different color apples. We have little pinchers. They were my blue, they look like alligator clips actually, and my kids like to take them in their hands, pinch down, pick up an acorn, pick up a little pom-pom, put them in the cups. That strengthens their fine motor skills. One of the hardest things for my little ones is to line up and head out to the bathrooms. They think that they should run through the hallway. They don't understand that they just need to stand and wait their turn. So yeah, that's a tough part of the day, transition. There are a lot of joys of being a preschool teacher, and we have fun in my classroom. But people also need to remember that being a teacher, even in a preschool, you have to be educated, you have to be certified, and you have to keep up on all your schooling, your professional development. People need to remember that. A lot of people think we're just babysitters, but...
That can't be an easy job. Well, if you're looking for a crazy last-minute Christmas gift, maybe you can buy your mom and dad a classic car and then store it in a heated facility dedicated specifically to protecting antique and expensive cars. CPT's David Montero visits this new facility in Brockton.
As the doors go up, Abes Garage is open for business. Owners Ted and Ben Resnikoff tell me about their mission.
What we're looking for is to provide a space for people who are passionate about their cars.
But this is not just any garage.
The emphasis is classic and collectibles and high-value cars. The building is 2 floors. The basement, we're on the ground floor. The basement level is designed to have custom-built vaults for high-value cars.
The newfound owners had 2 special vehicles on site to show me.
This is a Jensen FF. This is the world's first car with all-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes. This is 1970. So it's about 15, 16 years earlier than Audi, which is the company that everybody thinks did it first.
This is a 2002 Acura, that means Honda, NSX. It's a blast to drive. It's a beautiful car. This one is one of 20 black on black for the model year.
With so much dedication and inspiration to classic cars here at Abes Garage, I wondered where they got the name. Ted and Ben told me it was a tribute to their grandfather.
The name Abes Garage, it's named for our grandfather. He was a self-taught mechanic.
It's a family thing, and we wanted to have our family with us through, sort of imbue their presence in the building as well.
Ted then showed me some doors in the basement with race car numbers representing their grandfather's birthday. Now, although their family did inspire them, it was a truck that gave the brothers the idea to open this business.
And it ended up sitting outside his garage for about 10 years or so.
While Ted was in France, Ben watched over Ted's truck for a decade before they both agreed it was time to store it. But there was just one problem.
Then the guy comes out maybe 10 minutes later and he says, "I can't get your truck started." And Ben sees he's holding the wrong key.
The wrong key. A simple mistake, but eye-opening for Ted and Ben.
When you think about it, what's the one job this place had to do?
Not lose the key.
Not lose the key.
And the rest is history. Abes Garage now offers a wide variety of amenities, starting with keeping your own keys.
But not only do you keep your keys, it's also 24-hour access. So this is kind of your car person, car guy, whatever, home away from home. The sense of community, it's the fact that you have unfettered access to your car whenever you want. It's that it's a safe building, fenced, high security, air conditioning, heat. It's like pristine. It's great condition for your car. It's all of these things wrapped up together.
So we wanted to have a place where you bring your car in. Everybody has their own set of tools. Nobody borrows your tools. That way your tools are kept the way you want them to be kept, and they're always there for you too. We have 3 lifts in the back part of the building, which are full quality professional lifts, the kind that you see when you take your car into a professional garage.
There is so much here to offer at Abes Garage, and with great leadership and such a unique venue, this seems like a prime opportunity for car enthusiasts. Reporting from Brockton, Mass., this is David Montero, CC8.
If you have the money for one of those great cars, that's definitely the place you'd want to store them during these harsh winter months. And for CPT, I'm Tommy Noonan, back to you.
Thanks, Tommy. Finally, on Curry Primetime Report, we took to campus to find out what kind of animal you would be if you could be any animal.
Probably a cat, maybe.
Probably a turtle, live forever.
Probably a dog, because they have easy lives. They just get to lay around all day.
Would want to be a lion because the king of the jungle.
Probably a shark. I feel like people don't mess with sharks, and sharks just eat other things. So.
A lion because they're like the biggest animal in like the savannah, and they're big and powerful.
Bird. Just so I could soar and land and float in the water.
Be a cow because I love cows, and I feel like people just hurt them without thinking about it, like constantly.
Allah, I really identify with the quiet ferociousness of the impala. I think it's like really awesome.
Be a lion because you're the king of the jungle. You're the king of the area. If you ever seen The Lion King, it's just like top tier movie. The lion is like the king of everything.
I'd be a lemur because I like its tail.
That's a great choice. I would be a penguin because I always like the snow in winter. And that's it for this edition.
Be safe over the break, and we'll see you again next time on CPT.